afternoon, everyone. So here we have the Bone Thugs Army all set up. You can see how I got them posed in different positions with different weapons. As cool as these guys are, they do still have their flaws. I want to go through and show you how these are kind of set up and what I've done to kind of offset their limitations. They do have ratcheting limbs. Their knees, shoulders, and things like that do pop and lock in place. Some of the joints that aren't ratcheted obviously are their fingers, their wrists, their elbows, their jaw, and their neck and base of the spine. Those spots do not lock in place. So what I have done is on the hook here, I have taken a couple of 8-inch cable ties and gone crisscross over top of the bottom part here on the spine, and then run around this way, and it stabilizes them this way and stabilizes them that way. And what I've also done to hold your head in position is these come with strings at the top and on the base of the spine, or the top of the spine here. So I have run cable tie from the string here to the crisscross here to hold them upright. And then at the top, I've taken the loop and zip tied it there like that. That keeps the head from flopping forward, holds it up straight. That way that doesn't fall over as well. So they're pretty stable. I have to adjust them every time the wind picks up or they sit out in the sun. I'll notice something else that's a little janky, so I come out and fix it. For their elbows, what I've done, since these don't ratchet in place, is just run a zip tie through the ulna and radius and around to the back side of the elbow and just zip tie it however I want. And then for the hands, to hold any kind of weapon or tool, I just take a shorter, maybe like 1 or 2 of these smaller black zip ties and zip that around the middle finger bone and around the handle of whatever weapon they're holding. And then for the wrists, because these aren't ratcheted either, I run a zip tie through the thumb and index finger around through the ulna and media and around and zip tie that tight, and then take another zip tie around the wrist to kind of pull that tight and keep it from moving around and flopping around. That seems to work pretty well. I haven't needed to do that on all of them. As you can see, the base of the spine is pretty much universal how I do it. I have put in a couple on guys like this who want to lean one side or the other, either way. Some guys I haven't had any issues with the head tilting. You can see this guy, I don't have his base. He is being helped with the shovel, so that might be part of it. Some of their heads tilt and fall down, some don't. Some of their lower spines are looser than others, some aren't. They hold weapons pretty well. I've only needed like 1 or 2 zip ties to hold the weapons on. Of course, like everything else, they are limited by whatever weight you're picking for the weapon to be. These shoulders, even though they ratchet in place, they're not very strong. So I did have some tipping issues. This guy with the shovel, he kept wanting to tilt over this way because of the, even though this is plastic, it was still heavy enough where it was pulling him over to the right, and he kept sliding over, tilting over, so I had to fix his spine and help him out and stand him up. Sometimes they tend to want to lean forward, especially with the weight of a weapon. I mean, that's only a foam axe, but he kept leaning forward, so I had to fix him and give his spine some more support with the zip tie through the loop and then the back of his head to hold it up straight. So other than that, they're pretty cool. I do not have any other complaints about these guys. I mean, it would be nice if they had some with different colored eyes or all blue eyes. We'd like to have maybe some greens and some browns in there to kind of change it up a little bit, but I understand they're new this year, so it's gonna be hit or miss. They're very popular. For these guys on the swings, this simple black zip tie around the middle finger bones, trim to the rope, one through his hip, run around his hip bones, one to the base. And then for this guy, it was really easy on the swing. This is a zip tie around his wrist. That was really simple. He was probably the first one and the easiest one, so I'm happy with that. You happy with that? Yeah, he looks happy. Okay. On this black skeleton, we did some extra positioning on him. I know he's not part of the Ultra Poseable, but I figured I'd touch on it real quick while I'm standing here. I've seen some reviews online about his wings bending backwards. So what we did, and we know his wings aren't in the position they're supposed to be in, what we did is kind of more for support. We took a piece of 1x2, ran it across the back, zip tied it in a couple spots to hold it in place. That will keep the wings from warping and drooping and sagging, because it gets a lot of direct sunlight in our front yard. So he's gonna get hot. Especially that black plastic is gonna get really hot. That should help support him. Let's see how Mr. Dead here and his rider. All right, so that's it. That is the Bone Thug Army, all set up and ready to go for Halloween. Just got to get some lights out here. I'll do that in the next few weeks. Do some lighting tests. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. He's my favorite. I love him. He looks awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.